Hey guys, and welcome back. I am PrimeRose and this is my channel. So I've decided to do a review from the hiking boots that I've been using for the last 5 months. I think it's already enough time to give an opinion on how I feel about the boots, and especially to give you girls an idea on these type of hiking shoes that I'm using right now. The reason why I did this is because I have already had some girls on my tours asking me about my shoes and how they were and how comfortable were they, and what if water comes inside. When I bought my own shoes, it took me about 2-3 months to evaluate which shoes I would really want to have, because I'm really picky about the type of shoes that I use. I need to be sure about how the boots would work. This review that I'm making is not a review that I'm being sponsored by anyone. I'm really giving you my honest to God opinion. There are a couple of points that have to be suggested about the Salomon hiking boots, and I'm going to address it today. The first point is traction. So the shoes can grab themselves very easily. They have a really good traction. From the Salomon X2 to X3, they redesigned the outsole on the heel for more traction while going downhill. You can see the way the rubber was cut out to bite into the ground. So that makes it more easy to maintain more traction. From my experience, they have a great grip in soft mud and also hard floors. But there is a problem when it's a very slippery floor. There's nothing there to actually grab. It can be a little slippery. The other thing that is also really great about these shoes is the rubber does not deteriorate easily over time. For example, my normal shoes, they start getting smaller and smaller in about 3 months, and I've been using these shoes already for 5 months. The shoe still looks like it's the first weeks that I'm still using it. And since I have these shoes, I've already did between 400 and 500 kilometers. So it's between 249 and 311 miles. And the shoes are still very well maintained. The second point is shock protection. I must say I'm a very clumsy person. I'm always find really interesting ways to hit my feet against something, or my legs, or my arms. I'm always clumsy. So when I saw these shoes and the information they were giving about them, I thought, okay, that's interesting about the shock protection. Maybe I will be more protected with these shoes than before. But there's a problem. I have been feeling more pain with these shoes than with any other. Usually when I do a hike between 15 to 20 kilometers, I usually feel pain on the side of my feet. Not while I am walking, but after I take the shoes off, I always have this small pain in my toes and also a little bit on the side of my feet. I already had to once to take my boots off while I was working and to tend to my pinky toe because I went, I think, 2 or 3 times against rocks. I needed to take my shoes off, put a little bandage around my pinky toe, and keep going with the grip that I was working on that day. So it was a little bit embarrassing. So there are 4 versions. You have the 2 versions are in shoes and 2 versions are in boots. Then you have between those 2 versions, the version with Gore-Tex and non-Gore-Tex. For me personally, I have the version with Gore-Tex. Gore-Tex is a membrane that is in the shoe that prevents the water from coming inside the shoe, but allows your feet to still breathe while you have the boot wet. You can find puddles and nothing happens. Wow, unless that puddle goes to your knee, then water will get inside the shoe or the boot. There's one thing that you have to bear in mind, that is if the water gets inside the boot, it's very hard to dry them up. thing with the breathability of the shoe, especially when it's a Gore-Tex, while you're using the shoes on a cold day or in the winter time, you find the shoe very pleasant and comfortable. When you use them on the summer, while you're using and hiking, you don't feel it. But if you stay put, you start to feel a bit too warm on your feet. Especially if you're a person that sweats a lot, that will be a big of an inconvenience from these shoes, especially with the Gore-Tex version. Although it's not very breathable, it is still better than other waterproof boots that I personally had. Stability is something that I need on my hike. The way the boot was designed was to accommodate as much from your feet as possible, so you feel like the shoe belongs to your feet. The chassis also has a lot of stability. The way it was also designed was in a flexible way, so you can have as much control over your own feet although you're using boots. This is the first time that I'm having this kind of experience with hiking boots. You can put the feet almost the way you want it, and it gives you the control that you need. There's one thing that I must warn you if you're using the boots for the first time. On the first weeks that I had my boots, I had a small problem with the shoelaces. The shoelaces were always getting in the way. I had to put the shoelace on the outside of the boot, then put it inside the boot so I wouldn't have any problems falling, which I actually do have tapes from it. Now they are already flexible enough and they tend to fall down, but on the first days that I used them, they stayed fixed on the position that I left them. By the way, if you're finding this video informative enough about the boots, just remember to smash that like button, okay? Which brings us to the 6th point of Salomon Ultra X3 boots, Gore-Tex. The way the boot is made is that you have a cushion on the back side, and then it protects the feet arc that you have, and then it goes just a little bit down. This is something that I really enjoy about these boots. While you're looking for boots, I don't know if you notice or if this is something that you try to find, which is how does your feet goes along with the cushion inside a boot. And this is something that is very hard for me to find, a shoe that really fits what I need. I need to look online. And the problem is when you're scrolling down every type of hiking boot section, whether it's men or women, you don't find how it looks from the inside. If you're looking for a boot that is going to cover as much from your feet as possible, this is your boot. You have the cushion on the back that protects you from every step that you take that is harder than usual. You have the protection on the inner arc from your feet, and also the way the shoe was made actually does adjust to your feet. With the whole distance that I already did with my boots over the last 5 months, which it's not much in my opinion, I must tell you that the shoes feels comfortable. With these shoes I can walk up to 15 kilometers and I'm still okay. Believe me, these shoes are just amazing. The X Ultra 3 boots are, well, the X Ultra collection itself is very light. When you're using these shoes, it feels almost as you don't have any weight on your feet. Almost. They still weigh something. For example, my boots are the Europe 39 and a third, which in UK is the size 6, in the US is the size 7.5. These shoes weigh, both of them together, about 820 grams, which is 1.8 pounds. They feel really like a part of your body. So coming back to the point 8, which is build quality and durability. The type of rubber that you have on the boot is made in a way that you can use it for a long period of time and the boot is going to resist almost everything that you're going to bring it to you. Of course, not fire. You're not going to go through flames just to prove my point, I hope. Like I said, 5 months hiking, 400 to 500 kilometers already, and the shoes look like I bought them a week ago. The durability that these boots have is astonishing. Which brings me to point 9, which is fit and sizing. Okay, this is the trickiest part from the shoes whatsoever, which is buying the shoes. So I'm going to tell you a little bit of how my size is and how do I use my boots. Usually I need a little more space on the front part of the feet, but I need a protection from my inner arc from my feet. And also I walk a little too rough on the heels. You can really hear my steps, even barefoot. So these shoes protect me in every these areas. And about sizing, in a closed shoe, I usually wear a 38. In the hiking boots, I actually bought them on 39 1/3, so I can have enough space for my feet to swell if it's a very warm day. And also I have the opportunity to wear bigger and thicker socks. You already heard me talking for so long, so I'm going to resume what I have been saying this whole time. So let's go for the good parts and the bad parts of these shoes. I prefer to give always the bad news first. So I'm going to give you first bad news, so I can then give you the good news. Oh, and before I start the evaluation, remember to subscribe if you haven't. The first bad part of this shoe is the breathability. Because of the Gore-Tex, your feet are going to be too warm during the summer. It's going to be very uncomfortable for you if you stop hiking. From my experience, the shoelaces will get stuck on the first weeks. And if you're a clumsy person like me, you might get hurt while hitting on obstacles that are on the way of your path. So that's a bad thing. So I'm going to now for the good things. They are lightweighted. You basically don't feel them on your feet. They have a trail comfort. They are very durable. They maintain traction where you're going. That wasn't enough. They are very flexible on your feet. You have a planted feel and a solid toe and heel. They give you this underfoot protection on rough paths. And you have the wide version of these boots on the Gore-Tex version. Leave on the comment section down below which kind of hiking boots or shoes do you have. How are they for you? And by the way, is there anything else that you would like to know about the Salomon Gore-Tex X Ultra 3? Leave it on the comment section down below. Remember to smash that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed yet, remember to do that so you can see the upcoming videos. I'll see you next time. Bye! There's not the rise. 400 to 500 kilometers, it's not much. They still look, as I just made a hike, well I did, but just leave it down there.